I would like to change my weight division, go to heavyweight, because it is the most prestigious. I want to try my hand there. At the moment, I'm still in the cruiserweight division, and I need to win my next fight to become the absolute champion of the world. And then we will see. Those are the words of Murat Gassiev, the current IBF and WBA cruiserweight world champion. As you heard there, he's looking to move up to heavyweight after the Alexander Usyk fight. I don't know whether that depends on if he wins or loses the Usyk fight and the nature of how he wins or loses the fight, but I guess we'll find out in due course. He's certainly interested in moving up to heavyweight, as you hear there. How would Murat Gassiev fare in the heavyweight division? I was certainly very impressed with him in his recent performance against Deontay. Very, very impressed. Impressed by his versatility, because I never imagined that he had a back foot game. And one of the reasons why I'm so surprised he had a back foot game is not just because he's never shown it. It's because of the fact that he doesn't have an extensive amateur background. You know, when you look at somebody like Denis Lebedev, for example, he's got a back foot game. But earlier on in his career, he was primarily coming forward and applying pressure. When I first saw his back foot game, I wasn't so shocked because I knew that he had an extensive amateur background in Russia. But that's not the case with Gassiev. So for a guy with such limited boxing experience to display such versatility, to me, is very, very impressive. Again, to display versatility that he's never shown before as a professional. Very impressive. As impressed as I was with him at cruiserweight, I'm still going to be skeptical if he moves up to heavyweight in terms of his ability to take on or defeat any of the top guys at heavyweight. And incidentally, Murat Gassiev has sparred on multiple occasions with Deontay Wilder. And it was actually Murat Gassiev, to remind you guys, if you don't believe me, you can Google this. Maybe I can put a screenshot on screen of one of the articles. Murat Gassiev is the guy who, after sparring with Deontay Wilder and sparring with Klitschko, he said that Deontay Wilder hits harder than Klitschko. So let you guys chew on that for a while and digest it and try and understand what that means. To me, it's very straightforward. But to other people, they're going to try and interpret it in different ways. But yeah, he was impressed with Deontay Wilder when he sparred him, basically, with his power, with his ability, etc. It was a long time ago. Murat Gassiev has undoubtedly improved since then. But I can't help but feeling that if he was to fight Wilder in a heavyweight fight, he'd be equally impressed, if not more so, by Wilder, you know, in a professional boxing ring rather than in a sparring ring, and impressed to his detriment. I see Gassiev losing a fight like that. I see Gassiev losing to an Anthony Joshua. Joseph Parker fight, I see him losing that too. Just being honest. Could be wrong. Maybe Gassiev is going to prove to be a revelation at cruiserweight, just like he proved to be a revelation to me in his last fight against Deontay. Not because I didn't think he could win. Of course, I knew he could win the fight. I thought that was a very competitive fight going in. But just to reiterate, his back foot game is what surprised me. So let me know what you feel about this in the comment section below. And I completely understand where Gassiev is going in terms of saying he has to move up because heavyweight is the most prestigious weight. It is. You have to. You know, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to make serious money in the game, and particularly if you're coming out of the World Boxing Super Series as the winner, as the undisputed cruiserweight champion, the logical next step is to move up to heavyweight. But for the right fight, back in the days, guys like Holyfield and to a lesser degree David Haye, when they moved up, they were taking on contenders and whatnot at heavyweight. Actually, David Haye did a pretty good job of skipping the contenders and getting right to the big fights. And the point I'm making here is that's what I think would be the prudent thing for somebody like Gassiev to do. Rather than going up and doing it Holyfield style where he's taking on contenders and all that kind of stuff, if he wins the World Boxing Super Series, try and just get a straight crack at one of the heavyweight champions. You don't want to end up losing to a contender or looking bad against a contender. And, you know, if you can, and I know it's not right, really, you're supposed to earn your spot, but maybe you could be holding on to your cruiserweight belts and challenge one of the heavyweight champions and say, okay, let's do a one-off fight so I can attempt to be a champion in 2 weight divisions simultaneously. That potentially could work. So that's, I think, the most prudent thing to do from a business perspective for any cruiserweight, really, whether it's Gassiev or Usyk, is to just go for the big fights at heavyweight, because it's dangerous up there with the big boys. They're very powerful. They don't have to be as skillful as you. They've got ridiculous size advantages over you in terms of height, reach, punching power, physical strength, etc. So, you know, anyway, let me know what you feel in the comment section below about all the points I've raised in this video and about Murat Gassiev saying he'd like to move up to heavyweight. Some people are kind of frustrated by the fact that there are very few marquee cruiserweights in history who have decided to stay at cruiserweight and try and build up the division and try and enhance the reputation and the visibility of the division. It seems that all the best cruiserweights in history have just used the division as a stepping stone, as a platform to move up to heavyweight, rather than carving out their own legacy at cruiserweight and making cruiserweight their priority, you know. And that's why cruiserweight has missed out in terms of recognition from the fans and whatnot, because of the fact that all the stars never want to stay there. So let me know what you feel about that as well. All right, it's happening. I'm out.